Hi everybody, welcome back to McLaren Greenwich and Miller Motorcars. My name is Nick Leiningen, and today we're going to be taking a thorough look at the new McLaren Artura. You may have seen our previous video in which I did a relatively in-depth review of the car, but today we're going to really dive deep into some of the new technology that McLaren's incorporated into the vehicle, discuss some of the tech specs, and quite a few features that are on the car. All right, so I'd like to start with the front of the vehicle. Right away, you notice quite a few design cues that have been taken from previous McLarens, as well as quite a bit of technology that's going to be new and exclusive to the Artura. The name Artura is a blend between the words art and future, indicating the art of design and the future that we're really going towards with technology. The Artura itself sits between our GT model and just below our 720S. You see the headlight design here, which has clearly been taken from the 720. You have the recessed headlights as opposed to a flush design, which I find very attractive and very aggressive. On the bottom side of the car here, you see obviously the splitter, which is finished in our gloss carbon fiber. And right through the middle there, you have the camera system, which obviously will allow you to park and you'd be utilized for quite a few of the safety features. And to the left of that, kind of tucked away, which I think is a nice design feature, is the radar sensor, which now on the McLaren Artura actually has a active cruise control. With the Artura being a high-performance hybrid, you of course need some high-performance tires. And what Pirelli has done is come up with the Cyber tire here, which is actually exclusive to McLaren as shown by the MCC stamp. Unlike traditional tires where the tire pressure monitor system is in the valve stems, the sensors are actually encapsulated in the tire itself, which allows for much more precise information regarding your tire pressures, as well as now you actually are able to see the temperature of the tires in real time. This is very important for safety on the roads, but on the track, it's even cooler is that you will get a notification from the car when the tires are up to optimal temperatures, so you can get your best lap times. While McLaren has typically in their history focused on both lightweight architecture as well as significant aerodynamics, the McLaren Artura really takes that to the next level. Starting with these front fender louvers here, which have normally been reserved for their LT models. These ones specifically are finished in a beautiful high gloss carbon fiber, and they're not just pretty, they're also functional. So what their job is really to take that high pressure air that builds up around the front wheel, typically at high speeds, it extracts it and shoots it down the body line. As you see on the door, it's one single piece of aluminum, which has been constructed using McLaren's Superform aluminum process. MCLA, so it's McLaren carbon fiber lightweight architecture, and that's shown throughout the vehicle, specifically with the lack of shut lines. So you have one piece here, which is the door, as well as one piece to construct the roof, and we'll talk about the back deck lid as well. Taking a closer look at these doors, in true McLaren fashion, of course they are dihedral, and they're not only pretty, but they're functional as well. Housed within them is even more aerodynamics. You see here, there is a channel that is hidden until you take a closer look that will channel air from that front wheel well into the backside of the vehicle where the engine is housed, and it actually applies additional cooling to both the engine and the battery pack. Now on the back of the vehicle, you'll notice quite a few design cues from other McLaren models. The full laser cut mesh I think is a beautiful ode to the Elva as well as the 720S exhaust placement. What's really fascinating about the exhaust placement is because it's been elevated, you actually have quite a bit of room on the bottom half of the vehicle for a very large diffuser. This actually allows for both downforce as well as more aerodynamic capability. The top deck lid, as you'll see, is again formed with that Superform aluminum, and you have zero cut lines. So all the way from the door throughout the entire backside to the other door is actually one piece. With so many car manufacturers just now moving towards the hybrid technology, McLaren has actually been in the space for quite some time. With our Ultimate Series cars, the P1 and the Speedtail being as successful as they have been, it's no surprise that the Artura is next in line to utilize that hybrid technology. Underneath this deck lid, you have the new powertrain, which consists of a 3-liter twin-turbo V6, as well as a 7.4 kilowatt battery pack. That produces 671 horsepower along with 531 pound-feet of torque. And what I think is a really cool new technology is what we call torque infill, So those spaces where the torque isn't at its peak with the engine itself, you use that battery pack to allow for a much more responsive drive. So it's going to be a really, really exciting car to get on the road, and we really can't wait to have our test drive vehicles here so you can experience that thrill. With a top speed of 205 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time of just shy of 3 seconds, there's going to be a lot of heat created in that new powertrain. To combat this and to take away some of that heat from the engine, we have quite a bit of technology on the back side of the car. Here you see the flying buttresses, which aren't only beautiful but functional. What they do is redirect that air from the side of the car, goes up and over the back deck lid here, and allows for that hot air to be swept away. Combining that with what I think is my favorite design feature, the chimney in the middle of the deck lid, which obviously allows as well for that heat to be extracted and swept away from that redirected air. That redirected air doesn't go to waste. It actually will be funneled up and over the rear lip here, creating just a bit more downforce and some more traction for those rear wheels. Once you enter the interior of the Artura, you have quite a bit of new technology available to you. For instance, you now no longer have to go down to the center console to change your handling or your powertrain modes. They are located conveniently on the binnacle itself. This being a pre-production vehicle, unfortunately, we do not have the ability to turn it on, but what is very nice about the car is when you are driving the vehicle, if you have to move your steering position, the binnacle moves with it, so it's always in optimal view and optimal reach of your hands. Another nice new feature on the interior of Artura is the new infotainment system, which has been definitely derived from Elva. So you now have the one home button on the left versus down in the middle, and then everything else for the vehicle is controlled via the touchscreen. Perhaps the nicest part of the new infotainment system is the ability to get software updates over the air. If you're at home in your garage or a friend's house, as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can get those new software updates so you're always up to date on the infotainment system. Now, once you get closer to the driver position, you'll notice that this car is optioned with the Club Sport seats, which have the ability to actually recline as well as adjust to your liking. And perhaps my favorite convenience feature now is the vehicle lift button is located on the dash itself versus on one of the stalks here. What has taken its place is the adaptive cruise control. So if you're in a position where driving isn't as pleasurable, or if you're in traffic, you now have the ability to utilize your adaptive cruise control to make your driving experience a little bit easier. Thank you guys very much for watching and checking out the exciting new McLaren Artura. If you want more information about this car or anything else in our lineup, feel free to reach out to myself or any of my colleagues here at McLaren Greenwich. Or if you'd like to stop by the showroom and check out some of the cars we have here, feel free at 348 West Putnam Avenue in Greenwich. Hope to see you guys soon.